For me, that was, and I've already said this, but that was a really important thing for me. There was a time where I did a lot and I acted a certain way and I was kind of a brat. I apologize. And you get to that point to where, and for me it was kind of that like sitting in the corner of your room and you're like, wow, I've really let myself go downhill. It's really dark. I don't see any light. And you get that still small voice that's like, I don't care. And for me, that was the changing moment. And, for someone who grew up in church all their life, I'm a big supporter of you have to have your God moment. And I know that some people don't really think that way, but I think you have to have that personal little aha moment where you're like, oh, you are in control. And I do believe that. And the coming as you are was, all of the shame that I had, all of that darkness inside of me, that just really bad place, it didn't matter. And I took that to the cross, and I like the verse in the Bible, I've been crucified with Christ, and I was resurrected with Christ, dead to sin, alive to Christ. And, I'm a really good example of that. And so for me, coming as you are is the biggest welcome, the biggest message of hope that we can give. The biggest message of hope for me was that. And that power doesn't change. There's still power in coming. There's still power in the blood. It is still pouring from the cross. And with the world that we're in today, we can't just sit back and let people hurt. I see a lot of churches that have done nothing. And that's a burden that has been put on me. You sit there and you feel it like, God, I have done nothing for you. And with Come As You Are, we have to go out and we have to reach out to the youth. We can't be stuck in our ways because we don't like change. I'll tell you, I don't like change. I don't think any normal human being likes change. But I was changed. And it took a change, and it still takes a change. And we have to let go of certain things so we can still reach out. And we can still let people know that there's still power. There's still mercy. There's still salvation that never changed. It didn't matter. And so for me, that's the biggest part of Come As You Are. Just that hope and that light that comes off of that. And I think it's also a call to action for us, to go out and let people know that it doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter where you've been, where you are, that at any second you can have your life turned around. And that's up to us to let people know that. So that was mine. Somebody else. Anybody? Guys, this is going to be a really short church service if somebody does not speak up. You do it. I'll start calling you by name. Sue's been known to do that to the youth choir. And if it scares you, you don't have to come up here. You can stand up. I'm just making her come up here because I can. The rest of you can just do it where you're at. Well, I didn't come because I really didn't know what to say. But I guess at times like this is when God comes out of you.
when you don't know what to say, when you're lost for words, that's when God speaks. And I hope he speaks right now, because so far, hope the connection's not lost or anything. Okay, come as you are. Okay, so for me, I see the church as, well, a lot of people see the church as judgmental. You know, we've got that Christian stereotype as being judgmental. And I watched a video the other day of a pastor. He was talking, and he was talking about how, like, he invited some of his friends to church, and the first thing that they asked him was, well, what do I need to wear? And he said, that sickens me that that's what it has been boiled down to, is the thing. Now, I'm not saying, wear whatever, you need to look modest, but the first thing that people think of whenever they're invited to church is, well, I need to wear a certain thing to come, and I'm with him. I think that's sad that we've gotten that way. I think, anyway, just being judgmental, that's where I'm going with this. And for me, I try to, show everybody love and not talk about people, because when the world sees Christians talking about people, then they're like, well, I'm just as good as them, And just the little things, like, I see good Christian people talking about each other. And personally, that's been laid upon my heart, that I try to not say anything negative about anybody, because the world is going to see that, and they're going to, they're going to see that. And I don't want to be negative in any way except towards the devil, because that our negativity, the Christian's negativity, if you have Jesus living in you, then there shouldn't be anything negative about you. If you're saying, oh, I have nothing to do, blah, blah, blah. Don't be like that. You have Jesus. Be happy. And we need to show the world that be welcoming, because if we're negative, then they're not going to think that come as you are. They're going to think, I have to be this certain way to come. No, come, and then Jesus will fix you. And so that's about it. Who? Who's next? You don't have to come up here, just pop up.